What if the biggest problems in the world aren't caused by bad people? What if they're created by good people, doing exactly what the system rewards? Most of us believe corruption, dysfunction, and failure exist because someone made bad decisions. But what if no one intended the outcome? What if thousands of intelligent, hard-working, well-meaning people can unintentionally build a system that harms everyone, including themselves? Once you see how this happens, you'll stop asking, "Who's to blame?" and start asking a far more important question. What kind of system naturally creates this? Whenever something goes wrong, we instinctively look for someone to blame. A bad leader, a lazy employee, a greedy executive, an incompetent politician. Finding a villain feels satisfying, because if one person caused the problem, replacing that person should solve it. Sometimes that's true. But surprisingly often, nothing changes. The leader leaves, the new leader arrives, the same problems return, the company restructures, the same culture survives, the government changes, the same frustrations remain. Why? Because people changed. The system didn't. Imagine a company where every manager genuinely wants to do good work. Nobody wakes up thinking, "Today I'll make the organization worse." Instead, each person responds to incentives, deadlines, budgets, performance metrics, career opportunities, pressure from above, expectations from below. Every decision makes sense locally, yet together, those perfectly rational decisions create irrational outcomes. Innovation slows, trust disappears, communication breaks down, burnout spreads. Nobody wanted this, but everyone helped create it. That's one of the defining characteristics of a system. No single person controls the outcome. The outcome emerges from countless interactions. Intentions matter, but systems respond to behavior, not intentions. A company may say, "People come first," but if promotions depend entirely on short-term numbers, people quickly learn what really matters. A school may claim to encourage curiosity, but if students are rewarded only for memorizing answers, curiosity quietly disappears. A society may celebrate honesty, but if honesty carries social or professional costs, silence becomes the safer strategy. Over time, people adapt. Not because they became worse, because the system taught them what survives. This process creates a powerful feedback loop. The system rewards certain behaviors. People adapt. Those behaviors strengthen the system. The stronger the system becomes, the harder it is to behave differently. Eventually, the system begins selecting people who naturally fit it. People who challenge the structure often leave, or burn out, or stop speaking. Meanwhile, those who adapt remain. The system slowly creates the people it needs, and those people reinforce the system in return. That's why dysfunctional systems often become remarkably stable. This is where most change efforts fail. Organizations replace employees. Governments replace leaders. Communities replace committees. But they leave incentives untouched. They leave feedback loops untouched. They leave information flows untouched. The structure remains exactly the same. So the new people begin behaving exactly like the old ones. Not because they're identical, because they're responding to the same conditions. Trying to solve a systemic problem by replacing individuals is like replacing passengers while leaving the ship's course unchanged. Different people, same destination. Lasting change begins somewhere else, not with personalities, with structure. Ask different questions. What behaviors are being rewarded? What information isn't flowing? Where are the feedback loops broken? What assumptions never get questioned? What incentives quietly shape decisions? When those conditions change, behavior changes naturally. You don't force people to act differently. You make different behavior the easiest path. That's the difference between managing people and shaping systems. Good people can create bad systems, not because they're malicious, but because systems produce outcomes that no individual intended. The greatest mistake we make is assuming every recurring problem has a recurring villain. Sometimes, the villain is the structure itself. The moment you stop asking, "Who's the problem?" and start asking, "What system produces this?" you begin seeing the world differently. Because the future isn't shaped only by the people inside a system. It's shaped by the system shaping those people. And that's where real transformation begins. If you want to understand systems thinking, leadership, organizational transformation, complexity, and the principles of system shaping, subscribe to Paradigm Red. Because where paradigms shift, systems evolve.